All right. Well, we are going to roll a Pantella. And this is kind of the shorter version of the Lancero. So you guys know Lanceros are about 7.5 inches by 38 in the ring gauge. But we're going to go for a 6 inch, a 38 by 6. So, basically the process is the same for a Lancero as we'll do for this Pantella. But I wanted to show you guys a couple things to think about when you're doing these thinner vitolas, because they can be difficult at times, you guys. I know when I was first starting, one of the difficult things about it is that I had a problem with the draw. They were always too tight because these are very thin cigars, and the tendency is, especially when you're new, is that you're going to want to, overpack them, and then you find out you overpacked it, and then you roll it into your bunch super tight to compensate for overpacking it, which is a recipe for total destruction. So what we got to do is we got to pack it right, and then we got to bunch it right? Just to kind of get it all together the way it should be to have a good draw. So we don't want to try to compensate for one thing over another, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. This is my Ligero, this is my Viso, this is my Seiko. And we'll just go ahead and do this like that so I don't get them mixed up. And the first thing that I'm going to do, you guys, is just get this mold opened up. If you guys don't have one, that's okay. You can kind of eye this out, which I'm going to do anyway. So you eye out, you open your mold, or you get an image, or whatever you got to do to get that visual into your head of your ring gauge. Now that goes with any ring gauge that you're going to use, obviously, so it doesn't have to just be a 38 ring gauge. It could be a 52, a 48, whatever. But when you're creating the bunches, you have to have a goal, a target to shoot for, or you're not gonna, you're gonna miss, right? So we got to have a target when we're bunching, and the same goes for any ring gauge that we do. What's the target? So once we got the target in our mind, in other words, the ring gauge, that's what we're going to attempt to feel in our hand. So got some binder here that's been casing since yesterday. We did lives last night, and I've got some binder left over, quite a bit actually, so I should probably do more of these, but I just wanted to just do one for you guys this morning so you can get an idea of my process and how I do it and what I'm thinking about as I do it. So first thing is when we got our binder, you always want to roll into the lighter side because that's the underside of the leaf. And when you do that, you'll have a smoother bunch. So this is the lighter side, this is the darker side. But also too, you obviously want to look at the veins as well. Are they more pronounced on this side than this side? And the answer is yes. So you want to roll into the less protruding of the veins, I guess. The thickness of these veins need to be up like that. So we're going to roll into them. That way, the outside of the bunch is much smoother. Unfortunately, I see a lot of you guys, when you're rolling, you roll these binders inside out, and then you have these thick veins on the outside of your bunch. And when that happens, even though if you're using a mold, you can kind of fix some of that, you're not going to fix all of it like it would be the other way around. So, you could be doing everything right, and then you go to wrap that bunch, and it looks horrible, right? It's just bumped out and irregular and uneven. Well, you got veins poking through when they need to be covered up, is what I'm saying. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just pop this stem out here. all the way out. Now, if I was rolling like a 52 ring gauge, I would leave some of this stem in for structure, but for this one, we're using half leaves because we've got such a small, thin ring gauge. That right there is our Ligero. This is our Viso right here, and we're just gonna go ahead and get this stem out of there, all the way down the middle. And then you can see it easily separates. We're gonna go ahead and take these over here, put those there. This is our Seiko. This is actually Seiko Criollo 98. We're just gonna go ahead and use this here. Wonder if I should get on a little light for you guys. Okay, so again, now's the time we're gonna start looking at our bunch and getting the target right in our head. And so, you know, we're gonna do 6 inches on these guys right here. And we're gonna go ahead, and this is our little measurer right there. So go ahead and take this, and you're going to fold this like intabato style. Into these tubes. Just like this. Okay. And then we're going to take our Ligero. It's going to have to go in the middle because we want it to, you know, this Ligero is thicker. So we're going to want that in the middle. So all this lighter leaf will burn around it. We're going to go ahead and pop these tips off of there. We're going to get an idea about 6 inches right there. And now we're going to take these tips, we're going to flip them around, these tails, and we're going to close the back door, is what we call it, over the Ligero. Just like that. We're going to take these tips and put those over our Ligero like that, getting it in the middle right there, the best that you can. And this is why it's important to have even your filler somewhat hydrated. You don't want wet filler by any means, but at the same time, you don't want this overly dry, which can happen very quickly. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and one thing that we can do to make it a little nicer even is go ahead and don't be afraid to cut the top edge of your binder, because this is just going to make for a little nicer bunch as well. And we're going to roll into these veins this way because we want the veins to be going vertical down our bunch. So we're going to start here. Now here's the part where it can get really messed up because the tendency is to roll it too tight. Don't do that. The mold will take care of it if it's a little loose, but I want you guys just to, you remember the target, right? We had a target in mind when we started. So what's going through, the process that's going through my mind right now is in my fingertips, my mind is telling my fingertips about the target. So I am looking at this as I roll it with that target in mind. Now we're feeling for any light spots. It seems a little light right here, so we'll just go ahead and add some. And that's okay, you guys. You know, I always tell you guys, it's not a problem to add it or to back it off. So now we've got this shape here. And man, I gotta tell you, I think we hit the target. And right here, I want you just to roll it and feel. So the whole purpose of rolling this, you guys, it's not just for show, it's that we wanna feel for any irregularities in this bunch, whether there be light spots like we just fixed, or there's knots. And you're kind of shaping it out a little bit as well. And I gotta tell you, that feels pretty darn good all the way across. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna cut that end like we do. And I want you to open that up a little bit, only about 3 inches or so. And then we're gonna go ahead and take some of our Bermcall glue, tasteless, odorless, really not a whole lot to it, you guys. And we're gonna go ahead and roll this back up. The reason is we wanna have that head nice and tight before it goes in the mold. We don't want this thing unraveling. And you can use, you know, some people use honey, some people use, I've even heard like banana peel they've used. But we're just gonna trim this off a little bit. And as you can see, we're almost there in our shape, but these are gonna be, we're not going for a Lancero. We could have, but I wanna just do some Pantelas. And so we're gonna go ahead and cut this down to 6 inches, just like that. And there's our bunch. And, you know, if you don't have a mold, you could do a paper mold. But let's go ahead and get this in the mold. And we're just going to get it right in there like that and shove it up in there. And we're just going to tuck that away, get this on here. And we're gonna press it, and I'll see you back in 2 seconds. All right, I told you guys we'd be back fast. And let's pull them out and see how it is. Oh, those look beautiful, don't they? Look at this. Okay, so if you guys are using this particular type of mold, or maybe one like this in wood or something like that, other than a paper mold, one of the things that will help you get these out is like a bicycle spoke or a knitting needle, something that's very thin though, but that is, you know, pretty rigid, because you don't want to break these. They're still kind of delicate a little bit. You know, if I just stuck my finger in and lifted it up, I could break it in the middle, bend it. So what we do is we take something like this and we just shove it all the way up in there and then pull it out. And so this is what we're going to do. You're going to go ahead and shove that all the way in there. And then we're just going to pull that out. So now we've got this beautiful bunch. And we're going to wrap it up, you and I. So what I have, and being that I'm gonna end up box pressing these, but let's go ahead and use some of this Habano. And the way we're going to do this is we're just going to open this up. This has been casing since last night, and I'm just now looking at it. I suppose we'll go ahead and use this side right here. We can use that other side for the other one. And we're just cutting right down the middle. So now what I like to do at this point is just kind of hydrate my board a little bit. And this is no problem, because if you're hydrating your board for your wrapper, it won't go into a sick period. These wrappers are so thin that you don't have to worry about it. And look at that. You get a nice, beautiful stretch, right? Now, I wouldn't recommend this for binder or any of your filler, but you can definitely hydrate your board. And as you can see, you get perfect cuts that way every single time. So we're going to go ahead and cut this like that. It's about a 2-inch strip right there. And we're going to take our bunch and we're going to roll into these veins. As you guys, if you can zoom in, we got veins that are coming this way. And we want to roll our cigar almost in the same direction as those veins, so that the veins are not crossing over our bunch, but they're lining up more vertical. Okay, we don't want veins wrapping around. We want veins going straight up. So that's how you do that. And then once you've got that angle, go ahead and start your bunch. And we can just roll it on up. We're good here. And we're just gonna come on up to about an inch from the top there. And once we're about an inch away, we're gonna go ahead and get our glue out, and we're gonna hit this seam. Again, let me get some light. You're about 2 inches, an inch from the top right there. And this is a beautiful Habano wrap right here. And we're gonna twist that tight. We're gonna grab our scissors. And we're just gonna kind of twist it a little more and then clip, okay? So now we have this section right here, and this is gonna be our flag section. Now, the way that this always helps me is if the wrap is going to the left, my curvature on my flag is going to be on the right. If the wrap is going to the right, my curvature is going to be on the left of my flag. And I will show you how to do that right now. So that is going to the left, so the curvature of the flag will be coming from the right, or my right. We're going to go ahead and cut straight up like that, and straight up like that. Now, sometimes you'll see there's more of a curve there. You can definitely do that. But this angle right here is on the right side because we have wrapped to the left. Now, once we get it on there, being that we're up, you know, you're doing this face down, so it's in a sense kind of upside down. When you flip it right side up, it all makes sense that way. So we're going to go ahead and get this just down here. How far down? About 1/4 of an inch right there, 1/4 of an inch or so. And we're just going to go ahead and get this flag around the top of our cap area. And then, so we got some material there that you can just alleviate the pressure by cutting it. getting a little bit more glue here. And then you're left with this top part, right? So what I like to do is just get a little more glue on there, push down and twist, just like that. And it's kind of like the same process. We're gonna go ahead and twist and then cut. So now at this point, we just gotta get our cap. Made up right here, and we're gonna choose out of this material that we had left over, and we're gonna just use a little cap cutter like that. And it's always good to get the glue on this section first and then cut it. Whereas before, when we were doing the flag, we cut the flag, then get the adhesive on there. So we're gonna go ahead and cut that out. Get that gently placed right in the center. And there's the hole to that cap. So it cuts a perfect little circular cap for you guys. And then we're just gonna stretch this out with our thumbs. And then we've got a perfect cap, just like that. So now we're gonna cut these down to 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that, little trim. And we have got a beautiful little patella. But